Imagine waking up to headlines claiming the Philippines could soon rise as a global economic superpower. Sounds like a bold fantasy, right? But this isn't coming from a YouTube pundit or a political dreamer. It came straight from David Malpass, former president of the World Bank and one of the most respected voices in international finance. And he wasn't making small talk. This is a man who spent his career advising world leaders and analyzing how nations rise from poverty to power. So when he points to the Philippines as one of the most promising economies of the future, it's not just a compliment, it's a wake-up call. Why now? Why the Philippines? Malpass didn't just highlight potential, he suggested a possible transformation is already taking shape. A country long seen as a regional underdog might just be gearing up for a global breakthrough. But the road ahead isn't easy. The Philippines still faces deep-rooted challenges, from corruption and outdated infrastructure to the looming threats of climate change. So what exactly does Malpass see that others might be missing? Before we dive into the heart of this game-changing prediction, welcome to Now Leo Know, your go-to place for fun facts and mind-blowing information about everything under the sun. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss a trivia-filled adventure. Now let's dig into the three critical pillars that could decide the Philippines' future: infrastructure, governance, and climate resilience. By the end of this video, you'll understand what's truly at stake and why the Philippines might just surprise the world. Get a front row seat to understanding what it really takes for a nation to rise and how the Philippines is uniquely positioned in this defining moment. Over the past few years, the Philippines has rolled out ambitious infrastructure programs like Build, Build, Build. Think highways connecting islands, modernized airports, new seaports, and bridges that link forgotten regions. These aren't just upgrades, they're a foundation for transformation. But progress remains uneven. In remote provinces, communities still lack access to paved roads or reliable power. Meanwhile, urban areas struggle with outdated mass transit and traffic chaos that sap productivity. For a country with big dreams, this gap is a critical stumbling block. David Malpass argues that world-class infrastructure is non-negotiable for attracting serious investment. Without high-speed transport, clean energy, and digital connectivity, the Philippines risks being left behind by its Southeast Asian neighbors like Vietnam or Malaysia, both of which have already made infrastructure their top priority. This isn't just about concrete and steel, it's about building smarter, solar-powered transport, green buildings, and connected cities that invite tech industries and global players to invest. It's about laying the tracks, literally and figuratively, for long-term prosperity. A smart infrastructure revolution doesn't just grow GDP, it unlocks national potential, creates jobs, and powers innovation for decades. Here's the hard truth: you can pour billions into projects, but if corruption's in the mix, it's like building on sand. Delays, bribery, ghost projects, and inefficiencies have long plagued Philippine infrastructure and policymaking. Investors hate uncertainty, and corruption is the worst kind. Malpass didn't shy away from this. He emphasized that transparent, efficient, and accountable governance is the real engine of sustainable growth. Without it, development efforts stall. With it, countries transform at lightning speed. Just look at Singapore, a nation that tackled corruption head-on and became a global powerhouse. Fixing governance means overhauling how public money is managed, ensuring fair bidding on projects, and removing red tape. It also means embracing digital tools for transparency, real-time tracking of public spending, electronic audits, and public dashboards showing where every peso goes. This may be the toughest battle, but it's also the most rewarding. A government that earns the trust of its citizens and investors builds not just bridges and roads, but confidence, stability, and economic momentum. Clean governance isn't just politics. It's the bedrock of economic freedom, investor trust, and national progress. Now let's talk about climate. The Philippines isn't just exposed to climate risk, it's practically on the front lines. Typhoons, floods, earthquakes. These aren't future threats, they're present-day realities. Every year, disasters cost lives and wipe out hard-won gains. David Malpass made it crystal clear: if the Philippines doesn't prioritize climate resilience, no amount of economic growth will matter. Infrastructure will crumble, investors will flee, and people will suffer. The time to act isn't tomorrow, it's now. But here's the opportunity. The same risks also open doors to innovation. clean energy, green transport, smart flood defenses. These are investments that create jobs, modernize the country, and attract climate-conscious investors. The Philippines can lead the region in climate-smart development if it chooses to. There's already a playbook to follow. Vietnam and Bangladesh, despite being climate vulnerable, have invested in early warning systems, renewable energy, and green city planning. The Philippines has the resources to do even better. It just needs the resolve. Tackling climate change isn't just defense. It's a pathway to new industries, investment, and a greener, safer, smarter economy. Why do countries like Vietnam and Singapore keep coming up in this conversation? Because they started where the Philippines is now, and rose through bold reforms and long-term planning. Vietnam built up rural connectivity and trade zones. Singapore eliminated red tape and built a bulletproof reputation for transparency. Both nations faced deep challenges: corruption, poverty, weak infrastructure. But with national focus and unity, they turned adversity into economic momentum. The Philippines has even more resources at its disposal: a young workforce, a tech-savvy population, and global interest. The key lesson? It's not just about copying models. It's about adapting successful strategies to the Philippine context. These stories offer hope and a blueprint. Let's be clear. Government alone can't build a superpower. The private sector must step up as a partner. Foreign investors, local entrepreneurs, big tech, and even small businesses, everyone has a stake in the country's rise. Private companies can bring speed, innovation, and efficiency that government often lacks. But they need assurance, clear rules, a level playing field, and protection from corruption. The Philippines has a golden opportunity to create a business climate where entrepreneurship thrives and outside capital flows in. Think of what's possible: public-private partnerships in clean energy, infrastructure, tourism, and digital technology. Green startups that create jobs and solve real problems. Tech zones that attract international players. It's all within reach. But this won't happen by accident. It requires a deliberate push to build trust and align public goals with private ambition. When these forces move in sync, entire economies leap forward. When the private sector trusts the system, growth accelerates, fueling innovation, creating jobs, and lifting the nation together. All this leads to a single moment of truth. Will the Philippines make the leap or fall behind? The pieces are all there: a booming population, a strategic location in Asia, natural beauty for tourism, a culture of resilience and adaptability, and now, a spotlight on the global stage. But none of this guarantees success. Without bold leadership, without reforms that bite, without infrastructure that connects, and without climate readiness, the country risks being left in the dust by faster-moving neighbors. The stakes couldn't be higher. The next 5 to 10 years will define the nation's future for generations. It will take vision, coordination, and sacrifice to prioritize the long-term over short-term politics. But if the Philippines rises to the occasion, it won't just be the next big thing. It could be the model for how developing nations shape their own destiny in the 21st century. The choice is clear, and so is the opportunity. A unified national effort can turn today's challenges into tomorrow's triumphs. So what's your part in all this? Whether you're a policymaker, entrepreneur, student, or overseas Filipino, your voice matters. Every time you vote, invest, innovate, or speak up, you're helping shape the direction of the country. Now is the time to demand progress. Support clean governance. Advocate for climate readiness. Get involved in building your communities. Even spreading awareness, like sharing videos like this, can help ignite the national conversation. The world is watching. Investors are watching. And most importantly, the Filipino people are watching themselves, wondering whether the nation can truly rise. With enough willpower, unity, and vision, the answer could be a resounding yes. Let's build a Philippines that doesn't just survive the future, but defines it. If you believe in that vision, leave a comment below, hit like, and subscribe for more deep dives on global change and rising nations. Real change begins when informed citizens step forward. Your engagement today helps create the Philippines of tomorrow.